Namaskar. Today we are going to discuss about MOOCs and its major MOOCs delivery platform, and we will going to discuss one of the platform in very depth in briefly, that is Moodle, Modular Object Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. There are many MOOCs delivery platforms are available nowadays, like Swayam, that recently launched by the MHRD. Swayam is a recognized platform that is developed by MHRD. As a student, if we register in a course into the Swayam, then credit will be transferred to the student's final transcript. Or as a teacher, if we registered in a course under Arpit category, then it will equal to one refresher program. So Swayam is a recognized platform by the MHRD, but just like Swayam, we have many platforms that are existing more than 20 year or more than 20 years. Yes. So out of these available platforms, few are paid and few are free open source platform. So now we are going to discuss about one of the free open source platform, that is Moodle. Moodle is the free open source platform. Anyone can download the Moodle from moodle.org site and can install in your university central server, in your laptop, desktop. Even you can install Moodle in your pen drive, but for that you need a technical expertise. You need to configure a server, create on LAMP, install PHP database. You need a technical knowledge to configure a server using the free open source software. Moodle was launched in 1999 by one of the scholar in Australia named Martin. So that is the Moodle, and when it was started there was version 1.0. Nowadays Moodle running on version 3.9. So these are the few platform. You can see few are paid and few are free open source software. Okay, now let's explore the Moodle and its feature, how it can be utilized in our day-to-day teaching learning activity. Moodle is available on cloud as well, but remember, if any service available on cloud, then definitely it's come with certain limitation. Any service which is available on cloud, then definitely come with certain limitation. Like Gmail, we are using Gmail as a cloud service up to 15 GB, so that is a limitation. And like WhatsApp, like we have some limitation, we cannot share the content from more than 1.5, like that change the services, the limitations are changing time to time. Like that, any service is available on cloud, then of course it's come with certain limitation. So here Moodle is available on cloud, and of course if it is available on cloud, then it's have certain limitation. What are those limitations? Like user capacity, storage, like that, some limitations are there. So to configure the Moodle in your local server environment, that need a high technical expertise to configure it. But as a teacher, we need not to bother to use the Moodle immediately. We can just register on Moodle cloud sites available and can use immediately in our teaching learning activity. So on cloud version, Moodle is available on two variant. One is moodlecloud.com and another is genomio.com. Here is the cloud version of Moodle. First is moodlecloud.com. Second is genomio.com. Both are available on cloud. What is the difference in both of them? Let's see. So if I go to the moodlecloud.com, get start for free, and so in the free you can see on moodlecloud.com they providing offering us only free trial only for 45 days. So I think that is in not in use if it is stop working after 45 days. And there are after few paid version, so we can ignore this one, the paid version. Then another alternate is Genomio. Here just register your site and that will be work longer period. You can use it without any trial period. So here we are going to use genomio.com Moodle services, which is available on cloud. So Moodle Cloud, as you can see, there are certain limitation for 45 days only. The difference, major difference between Moodle Cloud and Genomio is Moodle Cloud is the direct product of the Moodle, the NGO, the company who working on the Moodle, and they offering the service on the moodlecloud.com. But Genomio is a private firm. Their earning source is advertisement. So when we are going to register, when we are using the Genomio for our uh, day-to-day teaching learning activity, we can notice just notice there are few advertisements run first and then our content will run. So we can just ignore this advertisement part, and we can go through the content and upload the course, create the course, and like that we can continue. So genomio.com, just open the genomio.com and register yourself. Now how to register the genomio.com? So in the URL, just enter your site address. Site address means URL means it's same like when you creating the Gmail IDs and you enter something, your first name last name or first name last name combination with some number, then system automatically give you response that is already exists, try something else like that. When you creating your site on Genomio, try to create a URL with your maybe first name, maybe last name, or maybe combination of first name and last name. Try to make it very small. Don't make it large, otherwise your address will be too large. For example, if I make it just type Deepak, then my address will be deepak.genomio.com. That will be my address where I'm going to post my material and like that, deepak.genomio.com, and just enter the email ID. Just enter your valid email ID, and I have read the terms and condition and create site. Once you click on create site, a email will goes to your inbox. Just check that email. In that email you will find the username and password of your site. So here you can see the example of the email you received in your inbox after creating the site on Genomio. So here username is admin and by default password created by the system, and then your Moodle site address. So you can see the URL is first name and then .genomio.com. That will be your URL. That will be your Moodle site address. Once you open your URL into the address bar, let's say I created my site with the name deepak.genomio.com. I just enter this address into the address bar and entered. So you can see one site is opened with few courses that I have already created. Few courses. If in your case when you doing the fresh registration, so no course will be visible. In the name of the, you can see I have written here my name. So in the name of the banner, you will find something like written the genomio.com, like that. So here once you open your site, so page will look like this, and right side top corner you will find a option login. So click on login and username and password. So username and password, just check your inbox. So you will find the username and password written here. That is my username and that is the one default password shared by the system. Once you enter this password, you need to change this password at first login. So enter the username and password. So remember, when you registering yourself into the genomio.com or any site, remember all you have get the username same as admin, but password is different for everyone. So there are major three role in any MOOCs delivery platform. There are major three roles. First is admin, second is teacher, third is student. So these are major three role in any MOOCs delivery platform: admin, teacher and student. So first level is admin. Admin has the complete access of the Moodle site, complete access. Then teacher have the access to just create, edit, update, delete in their course only, right? Then third is student. So student can access the content in which he or she enrolled, not in other courses. So that enrollment is one part in which student enrolled, they can access the content for those courses only. So that is the third level: the admin, teacher and student. So that is the broadly major three role in across all the platform, that can be Google Classroom, Swayam, Moodle, any platform. These are major three role, right? Admin, teacher and student. So admin can be a teacher, but teacher cannot be a admin. So that site we registered with our ID, that's why it's showing us the username as admins. Means now we have complete access of this site as a admin. So I logged in user via admin. So here you can see the admin user. Now let's do something in the Moodle site. Now in the Moodle, we are going to perform these 5 steps. First is user creation via manual and via Excel as well. Second is course creation, how we can create a course into the Moodle. Third is resource upload, how we can upload the resources into the Moodle in the form of tutorial, means video lectures, via embedded code from YouTube or any embedded code, or e-text via Google Drive shareable link or any link. So third is resource, how we can upload the resources. Fourth is enrollment of the student. Enrollment part, there are many mechanisms, so we will discuss one by one. And five, assessment method. So there are many type of assessment method in Moodle, so we will discuss a few of them. So first is user creation method in Moodle. Moodle, as I said, Moodle is a free open source software, so we can integrate n number of plugin with the Moodle, and whatever we want we can achieve within the Moodle. Like we can integrate the some cloud any application like Turnitin, that anti-plagiarism application, however, that is a paid application, Urkund, and attendance plugin, certificate, Zooms, Jitsi. These are some live classroom tools. So we can integrate n number of plugin with the Moodle and can achieve whatever we want within the Moodle. So anything we can achieve within the Moodle, like H5P. H5P is one of the application to generate the attractive content, so we can integrate the H5P within the Moodle. So without login into the third application, Moodle support the all plugins and everything is supported by the Moodle. So in Moodle, that is in the free open source software. So now here we are using the Moodle in cloud version. So here we have some restrictions, like we can use the Moodle uh, up to 15 activities only. But if you are using the Moodle as a free open source software, so we can integrate n number of activity within the Moodle. So now let's see how Moodle help us to create the course online, how we can engage the student online. So first step is user creation method in Moodle. So first step is, now we are login as a admin into the Moodle. So as a admin, now we can create a further users, teacher or student user IDs we can create further. So Genomio.com, that Moodle version supports the up to 250 user, up to 250 users. So or that is the limitation. As I said, if any service is available on cloud, there are certain limitations. So Moodle, if you configure the Moodle on your central server, university server, then you will get the unlimited storage, unlimited user creation. But here we are using the cloud services, then of course is a certain limitation. These limitations are user creation to 50 user. Now how to create the user into the Moodle? So we can create the user into the Moodle in two ways. One is via manual one by one, and one is via Excel. So in both scenario, we need five things, minimum five things. What is that? First name, last name, username, password, and email. So if you have these details, so it's very nice. Just enter this detail and create the email user IDs in Moodle. If in case you don't have the details like their student email and username, first name and last name, then what you can do, just create a Google form with these five field. Create a Google form and share the link of this Google form to the students. Then you will get these information ready made into the Google Sheet. Then you can just copy the material from the Google Sheet and upload into the Moodle. In a single click, we can create n number of user via Excel. Okay, let's see how we can create a user manual and via Excel. So once you log in via admin user into the genomio.com cloud, so here right side you can see there are few options: dashboard, site home, calendar, private file, and site administrator. So site administrator is the part where we can control the complete site. So site administrator, So here that I'm asking, that advertisement part is here, so that is the advertisement part, so we can just ignore that one. As I said ki Genomi is a that earning source is that advertisement, so we can ignore this one. After that our content will start from here, like that. So once we click on site administrator, then there are few options like site administrator, user. So in the user tab, there are option to control the user activity. So in the course tab, we can control the courses activity. In the grade, we can grade. And the plugins mean, as I just said, we can integrate n number of activity into the Moodle that we call as a plugin. But here we are restricted to the 15 activity. But when you are using your own Moodle site, using the free open source software, then you can customize it as per your need using, and you can integrate n number of plugins. So here we can add the plugin, appearance, server, report development. There are few advanced options. Let's see the user and courses part, how we can control, create, add, update the user, and how we can do this with the same thing courses. So here in the user, under the site administrator, we have a option here, third option, add a new user, means create a user manually one by one. And here is the option upload a user, second last option, means upload the user via Excel sheet. In both scenario, we need five things: first name, last name, username, password, and email. So just okay, let me create one user, add a new user, and just let's say I'm creating a username, let's say test user. The name, I'm just putting the name, and first name, last name, valid email ID. Here I'm putting just dummy, but that should be a valid. Now, okay, let me create something valid information. That username, let's say name, you first name, and email address, that should be valid, because the notification communication will be shared by these valid email ID only, right? So just enter the, so these are dummy detail I entered here, and password. So these are five things: first name, last name, email ID, and here I mentioned the username, and here is the password. So now I have again two options. I can set the password here. I can set the anything password XYZ 123 anything, and click on force password change. Means I set the password for this user. Now I have to communicate to the student. Go to deepak.genomio.com, that is my site address. Then your username is this one, and your password is this one, whatever I set here, that I have to communicate to the student. Else there is one more option, one beautiful option is here. Just click generate password and notify the user. You need not to set the password. Then system will automatically send the email to this user on that particular email ID. That is your username and that is your password. Just like we receive the username password as a admin username and one system generated password, so same here, system send the email to this particular user. So here we need not to communicate to the student one by one individually. System will automatically send the password. So like that you can create, just enter the detail, then you can leave other detail or are non-mandatory field, so you can leave it, otherwise you can fill it, no issue. And just click on create user. Your user will be created. So here let's click on create user. So my new user will be created. So here I have many users, so let me filter this user which I created the recently. So here you can see that is the user I have created recently. And last access, you can see the last access. So I can track that particular user, that user logged in or not in my system. So here is the option last access. So last timestamp when the user logged in into the system, I can track with the timestamp logged in or not. So last access is a very good option. We can track the student. Okay, come back again, site administrator, user. So here add a new user. So we can reset the password of any student any point of time. We can delete the user, that we can do browse list of user. Once I click on browse list of user, so here you can find all user will be listed here. So just remove all filter. I have applied the filter, so you can see all user is available here which I created or uploaded via Excel. So all users are here. Here I have 77 user and all user are here. So I can just, if I wish to reset the password any of the students, I can just go to the setting tab and just click the setting, and you can see I land on the same page where I created the user, and I can set the new password and communicate to the student. So here you can see new user password and notify option is not there because it's existing user and we are resetting the password, that's why it's not there. And here if I delete the user, that delete option is here, that user will be permanently delete from the system, that is the delete option. And come back again, site administrator, user, and now let's see this option, upload user. So once I click on upload user, so here I need to upload a Excel file. So that Excel file should be the exact same format provided by the Moodle. So you can just download this format from the moodle.org or just type it in Google, the sample file of the upload user file in Moodle. You will get the sample file, and how it's look like. Let me open this. Here you can see if I wish to upload the user via Excel, my Excel should be this same format. The format is first username in small letter continuous, then password small letter, first name is again in the small letter continuous, last name, email, and cohort. So my format should be the same. So username I can just enter anything, the let's say like that. Password I can blank. If I put a password, then again I have to communicate to the student ki that is your password, otherwise leave it blank. System automatically detect ki there is a no password in that Excel, and that system will generate the password automatically and share with the student. And then first name, and then last name, their email ID, right? And the cohort means, let's say I'm uploading the 200 user, and out of the 200 user, first 50 user are from the MA English. So I can just drag the first 50 are from MA English, next 50 are from MA Hindi, next 50 are from MA Psychology. Like that, I can tag the student in, I can divide the student in a section or in a cohort. So when I'm going to register, when I'm going to enrollment of these student, I just call this cohort and that will be enrolled in a single click. So like that, just fill your entries of your detail in the same format. Once your Excel is ready, just upload your Excel here, upload user, click, and just click next and upload in a single click, that will be uploaded. if any user is duplicate, let's say I have entered the duplicate entry that user is already available, then while uploading, system automatically detects that user is already there and shows you the result that is already available, that user is already available. So you can skip the user. That if there is any error, then the system will show you the error in your Excel file. So that is all about the user creation method in Moodle in two-way, manual and via Excel. And also we can open the uh, user creation we call as a self registration via email, just like on Swayam. You might be noticed on Swayam when we are registering ourselves. Let me open the Swayam. When we open any course and registering the share, here you can see the registration part. So when we are registering into the Swayam, that we call as a self registration. That is a platform. Swayam is a platform. So we can just first time sign up. When we go to the sign up, so here we need to fill few entries and just create. So that we call as a self registration, email based self registration. So in the Moodle, of course we can do this one as well, self registration option. The student can do self register their self. Then we need not to create the user via manual and via Excel. Student can create their user ID password themselves, but here we have a limitation of the 250 user. That's why if we open the self registration, we may not able to recognize who has been logged in or created or like that. So rather than just create a user manual or via Excel. Now let's come to the second point, course creation. Now how we can create a course into the Moodle. So come back to the site administrator. So third option is here, courses. So here courses is here. So first is user. We seen few option in the user, then courses. So in the courses there are option manage course and category, add a category, or like that, restore the course, backup the course. So you can take a complete backup of the course from one site and can same backup upload to the another Moodle site. So we can take a backup and restore the course of any Moodle. Let's say we today we now we are using the Genomio site, and after few days our university configure a Moodle server in your central server, create a Moodle site, then we can just download the our course from the Genomio site and can upload this course into the university central Moodle site. So just we need not to create the course again and again. It's just simple backup and restore the course from one site to another site. And add a category. Category means, so here let me come back to the Swayam. So I'll just show you what does mean of category. So when I'm in all courses on Swayam, just see, here is one option, category. So in category you can see there are few options to filter the available courses. So here are few categories available, AICT annual Arpit courses. So here the refresher courses, no course running is right now. So these are few categories here. So like that, in a Moodle we can create n number of category. By default you will find only miscellaneous category, but we can create a n number of category. Just click on add a category and create a category name. So I have already few category created. Let's create a category with the name, with a new name. We can call as a let's say uh, uh, school, and category ID. So that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and just create category, and that already entered. So that's 8, category ID 8, that already there. So 8. So here you can see I have created the few category: undergraduate, postgraduate, research studies, school I created twice, so that I can delete it. Law and other categories I can create, and I can shift up and down like that, create a new category. Like just like this Swayam, we have seen the categories are here, so we can create a number of categories. Now come back again, site administrator, courses. So here is the option manage course and category, manage course and category, and here the category, and here the new, create a new course. So here is the category, here is the courses. Just click on create new course. So here when we click on create new course, here we need to fill few information. So course full name, let's say I'm teaching a course computer audio programming, or let's say software defined networking. So let's say I'm teaching this course का short name STN and category. This course lie under which category? So I can select the category here. Let's say uh, postgraduate. So like on Swayam example, so if anyone filter a category, say law, so that course will appear under this particular category. So I can select this category in Moodle. Then course visibility, toggle key, show and hide. So one of them I can click, let's say show. The purpose of this show hide is, let's say my course is going to start in next semester, and I wish to prepare my course well in advance, so I can start working on my course well in advance and make it hide so that no one can see this course. So only I can see this course on my login. So when time will come to launch this course, just make it show. And then course start date, course end date. Course start date, end date means in this Swayam, for example, let's take example of this Swayam as well. In this Swayam, there are two type of courses are running. First is a scheduled course, and another is self-paced courses. Scheduled course, definitely there are start date and end date, then it will become a schedule. And self-paced courses, there is a no end date that will be run forever. So here let's say my course is running from 6 August, today is 5th, so from today 5th August 2022, 31st December 2020. So like that is a one semester that after this due date 31st December, that course will automatically disappear from the student's login. If I make it this table and date, now it become a self-paced course that will run all the time, that there is no end date, and that will run continue. Otherwise just make it enables end date, and that particular date that course is automatically hide from the student's login, but as a teacher that will available forever at my login. Then course ID, so you can enter any course code, that unique course code. Every university follows some course code pattern, so you can enter some course code number that you are following. Now come to the course summary, that is the important part. So in the course summary, here just let me open any course available on the Swayam. So here I open randomly one course on Swayam. So here you can see something is written here that we call as a course summary. And here you can see course layout, course start date and date. About there are few information, there are a lot of information. That information we call as a about the course with the course introductory video. That video you can see running from the YouTube using the embedded code. So here as a student, how I can take a decision ki I should be enrolled in that course or not. So I just go through the course summary, and let's see if that course is beneficial to me or not, and just go through the course introductory video. If I feel as a student ki that course is very useful to me, I just join the course. Otherwise I can cross check the other. So same here in Moodle, just put the course summary. Just write, let's say I suppose ki I am offering a software defined networking course. So here I need to put about the course summary of the software defined network, what I'm going to offer in module 1, 2, 3, 4, and with a course introductory video. So here in the course summary block, I entered the few detail from a template key, that is my paper code, and in mode, which mode I am going to offer this course, in a blended mode or in a complete online mode. And the few information about the course credit, and is there any prerequisite about the course, what is the aim of the course, like that. I'm just written here few information about the course, brief description, module, aim, what I'm going to offer in that particular course description, and important is learning outcome of the paper, and paper evaluation method, what I'm going supposed to be offer. So here I have written two type of paper evaluation method, online and offline. Means reason is I am offering this course in a blended mode. If it is a online mode, then this part will not be there. If it is in blended mode, I put it here, few portion as a online and few portion as a online, and few suggested readings and like that, and with a course introductory video uh, embedded code. So that will not work like here. Let me cut this one from here and paste it in the here. So that is my embedded code. Embedded code means like that, here the course introductory video embedded code. So you can just collect the embedded code of any video available on the YouTube. Just collect the embedded code, right? Just see carefully how we can use the embedded code. This is about the course summary. I have written here few many things under the course summary block. Then expand the menu, just listen, be careful. Expand the menu, click on last option, HTML, press enter, uh, right, copy the embedded code. Before copy the embedded code, adjust the width and height, like by 200 by 200, so I can adjust the height and width. Okay, then copy the embedded code and paste here. So here you can see the language is matching the embedded code and normal. Again click on the HTML. Now you can see the video is appearing here. You can see video is appearing from YouTube to my platform using the embedded code. Just like on Swayam, you can see the course summary with a course introductory video. So same here, I pasted with a course summary and course introductory video. So just look at again how I am place the video. Just expand this menu, click on this last button HTML. Now paste the embedded code and again click on HTML. So video will appear within this one. And then if you have a file, any image, you can upload it here. Course format, make it topic format or weekly or activity as you wish. So I'm just making it a topic format, and these are few advanced options I am not going to discuss right now. And save and return. So here I have created one course. I can just check and go to the site home, left side option, site home, and my course is just below here. I just make a one course with the name this one, software defined networking. This is my course I have created, and this is something I written about the course and with a video, that is the video. So I can play that video. That video will play directly within the course. So here I put the video, right? So like that you can create a course. So once you create a course, now it's let's see what is our next point. Course creation. Now resource upload. How we can upload the resources? Just click on the course, just go to the site home, your available course will appear here. Click on the course that you have created. Now we are inside the course. Now we are inside the course. At multiple time we can go back to this option edit setting. Just go to the edit setting and you can update this course summary or video and multiple times. Just go back and update and edit the course summary content and video and number of time. Or then when you are inside the course, so here we have chosen the topic format. That's why it's showing us a topic 1 2 3 4. Otherwise if we pick the week format, then it will show us a week 1 2 3 4 like that. So here the page is blank. So to make it in a editable mode, don't forget to make it turn editing on. Just click on turn editing on, right? And so here you can see few advanced options appeared here. Few advanced options are here. And if I wish to upload something under the topic 1, I'll just click to the add an activity or resources. Okay, so here you can see these are few activities like assignment, chat, choice, quiz, feedback, discussion forum, quiz, survey like that. And just below here is the resources. So under the resources, book, file, folder, label, page, URL. So here is few options. So let's upload these few content from the different sources. Okay, let's pick the first. Let's upload the video using the embedded code. Okay, let's pick the label, add. So the label is opened. So here again, if I have any embedded code, just expand the menu, click on HTML, paste the embedded code, again click on HTML, video will appear here, and save and return to the course. So here you can see under the topic 1 video is uploaded. Now again come back to the add an activity and resources, click URL. Now earlier we picked the label, now pick the URL, click add. So let's say I'm wish to upload lecture PPT. I said pick lecture PPT and external URL. That URL can be from any URLs, any site address, or any might be you're using SlideShare, just hyperlink with the SlideShare, or just copy the URL from your Google Drive. Why Google Drive? Reason is to utilize the storage of this platform, just upload your all material in your Google Drive and YouTube. So just share your videos from YouTube to your platform via embedded code, and other than video stuff, upload into your Google Drive and share via shareable link into the platform. So that like that we can utilize the storage of these platforms. So if tomorrow that Genomio site is closed, so our data always be in our control in the both places, Google Drive and YouTube. So no issue in that one. So that is single storage, cloud storage. So here we can share our material on multiple platform via YouTube and Google Drive. That will help us to content controlling, content management, performance, storage, utilization. So that's why upload your all content, if it is video on YouTube, if it is other than video, upload on your Google Drive. So let's say my PPT is in my Google Drive. I just go to the Google Drive and copy the link from Google Drive to the Moodle site. So this is my link from my Google Drive. So be careful when you collecting the link from Google Drive, that is in view only. If you share the link from Google Drive to your Moodle site in a editable mode, then student will able to add your PowerPoint presentation. So be careful when you getting the shareable link from the Google Drive, that should be view only. and just save and return to the course. So here you can see this is the video and here is the lecture PPT that is linked via my Google Drive and that is linked via my YouTube channel. Both resources are uploaded without consuming the storage of this Moodle site. So there are storage is zero. I am just linking my material from my YouTube and Google Drive to the platform. So I uploaded the two things here. Right, that is the advantage of the power of the embedded code. Let's say I have the Google form quiz. So hope you aware about the how to create the Google form quiz. So using the embedded code, we can embed the Google form within the Moodle. Here you can see I have created a one MCQ using the Google form. So when you are ready with your Google form quiz, when you click on send button, so in the send button there are three options: via email, via link, and third is embedded code. So just click this embedded code, copy this embedded code, come back to the your platform, and let's say now in the topic 2, just add an activity and just click on, or you may pick label, add, or that we can use add a page as well, book and file, many things are here. And let's say expand this one, click on HTML, then source will remain same, and then put the embedded code of the Google form quiz. Again click on HTML and save and return to the course. So here you can see my Google form quiz embedded within the Moodle. So now it's look like a part of the Moodle. Otherwise, I have to paste the URL, and URL, you know, the property of URL is always redirect us on the separate page. So rather than redirection, I just put the direct this MCQ using the embedded code within the Moodle. Just put the email address like that, and full name, and you can see I am attempting a quiz. Click next. So at a one time I set the only one question, so OER stand for the Open Educational Resources. Next. So at a one time one question will appear. Moodle stand for modular object oriented dynamic learning environment, and click on submit. So like that I can integrate the quiz within the Moodle using the embedded code. Or any activity like H5P activity we can integrate within the Moodle. Like now let's see the example of the page. So here is the option page. Otherwise there are option also there, book, file and folder. So file and folder, that if you can upload the direct your file and or file upload directly on the Moodle, but that will consume the storage of the Moodle. So rather than uploading directly on the Moodle, just upload your content into your Google Drive, and then via shareable link use the URL option to get upload the material here. Now let's look at the page. Just click on page. Now just look at the select the page option. Okay, so here I am coming on the adding a new page. So page name is let's say about Swayam, right? And description, if I wish to make it here, page content if I make it here, right? So page content, so let me open a few page content. Let me open, let's say I have this content. I just copy the content, whole content, copy. So rather than upload as a complete file, I just copy the content. Now see how I can make it this content as a dynamic page. See, so here the beauty of this model is, so here you can see there are few words, so I can hyperlink this word as a the dedicated site. So sometimes you notice in Wikipedia there are many words are hyperlinked to go to the more detail. So here I can make it as a hyperlink. Just select Swayam, and here is the option any word. Just select any word, and here is the option link. Just create a link so I can redirect this one from the here to swayam.gov.in. Copy the URL and paste the link. So that is that word is now hyperlinked with this site. So I can make it open in new window, create link. So like that MOOC, if I wish to make it hyperlink, I can say UGC uh, moocs.inflinet.ac.in, create open site. So I can make it many word as a hyperlinked word. As you can see, I can insert directly audio here. So here you can see the record audio. So up to 2 minutes I can record my audio. So start recording. uh, Hi, here I wish to share my view about the Swayam and their attribution in the digital initiative of higher education. Stop recording. So I just create few seconds, just speak about few seconds about Swayam and attach recording. So here in the content, in between the content, here I added the voice as well. Hyperlink the word. I can create upload the image as well. You can see the insert image. So I can insert the image. So within the page I can do many things. I can able to do many things within the page. Okay, let me select a few image from here. Okay, the type. Okay, so I select the one image and that save as name and upload this file. And you can see I have upload this image here, save image. So here within the content I uploaded the image, audio, and same just embedded code, the option copy any video embedded code, the then remaining same HTML, and wherever I paste the HTML code that video will appear here, right? And normal. So here within the video I did the many things. So I can insert the many things. Just click on the save and return to the course, and many more things. So here now you can see in the topic 3 I created a page about Swayam. Once I click on this one, now you can see the beauty of the this Moodle. So here you can see content and few word I hyperlinked here. Once I click on this hyperlinked word, you can see that is redirecting us to the different page. So just like in Wikipedia, image, audio, I can say something about anything. Audio is here, and content and video is here. So within the page, so rather than uploading a page, 2 3 page, you can upload the content as a dynamic content to add such kind of a beautiful thing, or image, audio, video, hyperlink, like that you can create this one as a dynamic page. Come back to the site home. So here we uploaded few material under the topics. So if I go to again add an activity resources, so here I created the one page. Then combination of multiple pages would call as a book. So electronic book, just like in we are reading a newspaper or we are reading a book in Kindle. So like that we can create a e-book in the Moodle, but a file and folder is like directly upload the material on the Moodle. So like that we can use. So this is all about material, and next is enrollment of student. Then we'll see assessment method. The last 2 point is more remaining. So you can see resource upload be done. Now is enrollment of the student. So enrollment of the student is very easy. When we are inside the course, here is the option left side is here is the option participants. Click on participants. and enroll user. So you can see nothing to display, means no user has been added enroll in that course. So I can click on enroll user. So here I can search the user name. So I just created the name Puneet. So here you can see with the Puneet is search here. So I can search other name as well. That system is shows me the suggestion name. So you can see I can add the users like that one by one, and these user will be assigned role. You can see assigned role. This user will be student in my course, or teacher, or a non-editing teacher, or a manager. What is the role of these users? So I can say a teacher or non-editing teacher or a student, or click on no enroll selected user. Now the option is here cohort. So I said ki when we are uploading the user and assigning the cohort like MA English, MA Hindi, MA Psychology, so here I can search the cohort. So here you can see I have a few cohorts, section A, B, 1, 2, 3. So let's say with the section A, 50 users are tagged with the section A. In a single click, I can enroll all these 50 student, student in a single click as a student. So lucky, let's see, enroll the selected user and cohort. So here in a single click, section 1, I think that is a blank. Otherwise, that will be user, and then number of participants 3 I enrolled here in a single click. And last access, you can see last access. Let me see in the another cohort if some user is available in another cohort. Let's section B. Okay, in section B, nothing in the section B cohort as well. Let's say section 1 and 2 both. Let's say nothing, all cohort is empty. I think no user is there. I deleted the user. Okay, so here the student is enrolled, and last access to the course means I can track each and every student when they last logged in into the my system. I can track the student, is they really logged in or not from here. If I delete it from here, means unenroll. I am just unenrolling the student from that particular course only, right? So like that we can do the course enrollment and de-enrollment part. Now next point is, so enrollment, we right now we do the manual enrollment. Here we can open the self enrollment as well, just like on Swayam we are doing self enrollment in any course. So Moodle also support this self enrollment, and Moodle also support guest and public access, means no need to create any user, just open your course as a guest access. So and so any is it the guest access means it will accessible for the public without any username password. But if you open your course as a guest, then how you will take a online assignment is one-to-one job. Then you can open your course as a guest with single password. Those have that particular password, they can access your course. So again the problem is the assignment part, to whom you take the assignment is one-to-one. That's why we pick the manual enrollment. And self enrollment you can make it if you are using the your own free open source Moodle server. Right now we are using cloud, so that's why we have certain limitations when we did the manual enrollment. Now fifth is assessment method. So once we click okay, come back to the course, course. Just go to the inside the course, just clicking on the course name inside the course. So here once we click on the add activity resources, so above is activity, these are the assessment, and below is the resources to upload the resources. So here in the activity assignment, discussion forum and quiz. We can create quiz, we can manage in other ways as well, Google form and other. Otherwise there is a by default option in the Moodle, that is quiz. So the advantage of the quiz in the Moodle, we can create a question bank. Let's say I have 1,000 question with multiple discipline, 100 from English, 100 science, like that. So we can in a advance I can create 1,000 questions into the Moodle. When we are creating a quiz, so we can just fetch the questions from the question bank, 10 question from history, 10 math, 10 English, and then make a 60 question a quiz. So next time when you creating the quiz, so again fetch the next 10 question, next 10 question from the different category or discipline, and create the next quiz. So that is the advantage of the quiz in the Moodle, that we here we can create a question bank. And this is we call as a discussion forum. It's a simple, like we are discussing on the WhatsApp or in a Google group. But the advantage in the Moodle of a discussion forum, see, let's say I initiated a topic into the discussion forum. Just read this article and give your view in a very abstract way. So I just type my view, student type student B type their view, student C type their view, and now student D can read the all the view above and can mix their para and do the paraphrasing, can enter the their view. But Moodle give us a functionality. I can select the student first enter their view, then they can see the others view. I can restrict like that into the Moodle. In the discussion forum, student first enter their view, then they can enter the then they can see the views of other. And assignment is here. There's a normal assignment. So in the assignment, once I click on add assignment, so here I have option when it will be open, and assignment will be online or file submission. In both way we can call the assignment. What is the assignment is a online or file submission, when it will be start and due date, cutoff date, and I can set it here. And as a what I'm going to offer in the assignment as a question, as a, so as a assignment I can offer questions, quiz, as a any audio, video, image, GIF file, anything I can post as a assignment part. As a upload, I can upload any file. I can set start date and date of the assignment. Submission from student, they can submit their assignment online mode or file submission. Online means just like a that window will open, that box will open, they can type their view or just copy paste their view, or in the file submission they need to upload the file. So here in both way, if it is online I can restrict, if the student will not able to type more than 3,000 word, like that. If it is file submission I can restrict the student maximum upload file is 1 or 2 or 3, and file size is not more than 10 MB or 20 MB. I can restrict here. And grade, in the grade I can set key there is point or scale which I'm going to offer. So if it is scale, so I can define maximum grade and scale. And grading method, simple direct grading or a rubric. So I can define here, create the rubric as well. The assignment can I can judge via the rubric or simple or marketing guide, or you can see there are that customized as well, BTC marking. There are many options. In last session we covered the rubric in the Google Classroom. So here is the more than feature from here. So we have simple BTC marking guide, many options are here, or rubric. So we can create a rubric assignment as well. And we can make it categorize and correct and pass to grade to pass. So I can define key out of the 100 marks, 40% is the pass mark criteria, and I can apply the restrictions. if student not get the 40%, not pass in that particular assignment, student not able to move to the next topic or next assignment. So and any kind of a restrictions I can apply within the Moodle. So many options are here, and feedback type, like submission type, how would like to I submit. It is reopen, or you wish to make it reopen never, and like that. And require to student accept the submission statement, yes. And required to student submit the button, yes. So like that, these are few options, and you can make a assignment. So when student upload the assignment, you can just judge the assignment, and out of 100 marks just put their number. And then one grade book, and here is the grade book will automatically ready and for the student. So this is about the assignment, the assessment method, assessment quiz and discussion form, like that. This is assignment. So we can integrate the Turnitin Urkund like that assignment as well within the Moodle, not in this cloud version. That is not possible here, but in the free version, if you install in your university server, then you can integrate the Turnitin and Urkund uh, assignments as well. So you can choose and pick that you wish to initiate a normal assignment or Turnitin or account. So if you, let's say you initiate the Turnitin assignment, when student upload their assignment, that will automatically check within the Turnitin and show you the plagiarism result within the Moodle without login into the Turnitin or Urkund like that. So that freedom is also available with the Moodle. It supports all the features. So now we covered these all features: user creation, course creation, resource upload, enrollment of student, and assessment method. We cover this one, and here we can reuse the courses in Moodle as well. Let's say this semester I offered the course, and after odd even pattern I can reuse the course. Many options are available. Moodle like AC, everything is available within the Moodle. Everything is available. So please start using Moodle in first with the blended mode. At least run this Moodle blended mode for a semester. Once you familiar with this Moodle environment, then think about the complete online courses like Swayam and other online complete online courses. At least first start with Moodle as a blended mode and upload the course, share the material, take the assignment, and like that. So when you start working on the Moodle, please at least start the online assignment at least 10% weightage. So when if you not putting any weightage, so student might be will not come online. So if you make it at least 10%, 20% weightage, then definitely student will come online. And slowly when you feel more comfortable with the Moodle, just increase this assessment 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Like when you achieve the 70% online assignment via Moodle, then that means you are now you are now ready to shift yourself in complete online mode, just like of the Swayam platform, like the completely online mode. So Moodle give you the flexibility to hands-on all kind of the activity, say Swayam says ki you have to perform only three kind of the activity, like online assignment, quiz, and discussion form, only three activity. But Moodle support 300 plus activity, and by default you will get here 15 activity in cloud version. So out of 15, if you hands on at least on 10 activity, then I can say कि स्वयं तो स्वयं ही हो जाएगा. Means we are doing a hands on in on a very vast level. Moodle is like a sea. If you are hands on Moodle, then you can work any platform without any problem. So Moodle is give you a exposure to work on a MOOCs delivery platform. After that, you can work on any platform. I have customized this Moodle in my university. We are using our own MOOCs delivery platform from last 10 years, and we customize this one on Moodle. Everything, our many courses are running on Moodle. Moodle is a free open source software. So just start this Moodle first with the cloud version. Then you can install the Moodle in your university server and do more hands-on on the Moodle. So thank you so much for listening me. We'll see in the next lecture. Thank you so much.